last the freedom, the when we were talking about freedom. So the let's say there is group of people who have not understood the harmony at all level. So for them, if we are not allowing them the freedom, then this automatically leads to coercion or forcefulness. So is it good?
Yeah. What he is saying is that if there are people who have not understood the harmony, right, and they are not living in harmony, and if you give them freedom, right, they are not able to make the right utilization of it, number one. Number two, if you do not give the freedom, right, it leads to coercion, that you are forcing them to do what they have not understood, okay, but you are asking them to do, right. So, it will lead to coercion, that is what I mean he is saying.
There is a major thing seen in the US nowadays, liberalism and
Yeah. So, then what is the way out?
yeah.
What we are saying is that the way out is, ultimately the way out is to make this part of education and sanskar, right. So, that every child is able to understand what is right, right, have the right feeling and slowly develop the competence to live, accordingly. So, ultimately that is the solution. In the meantime, what do you do? In the meantime, if you are trying to create some discipline in the other rather than giving freedom, that is allowing him to do whatever they feel like, right. When you are giving them the discipline, you have to consider it your responsibility to explain, right, and help them to understand any question that they are asking, right. So, it becomes our responsibility to respond to any question that they are asking regarding the discipline that we have given to the other, right. So, that they can understand and they can have the feeling and they can start practicing it, right. So, this discipline is temporary in that sense, okay, and the ultimate outcome of this should be the self discipline, that they are able to understand the reality, what is right, they have the right feelings in them and they are able to practice the right living. So, this may be very temporary, okay. This giving them some discipline and asking them to go through the discipline, right, so that they may not damage others, because they do not have the understanding part, the right living part. So, they might damage, right. We keep taking this example, in the worst case, let us take the example of the criminals, right. Now, they have committed crime in this society and they might continue to create kind of commit crimes, okay. Now, what do we do with them, right. So, what we are saying is that okay, put them in jail, okay, confine them so that they are not able to damage others, but what are we doing in the jail? Are we helping them by giving right education and sanskar so that they can improve, or we are just giving them punishment, right, or the kind of association of criminals so that they become bigger criminals, right. So, what we are saying is that confine them, put them in jail, but give them right education and sanskar in the jail, so that during this process of jail confinement they are able to understand what is right and develop this competence to live what is right. Yeah. We did this experiment with Bilaspur jail, Bilaspur central jail. We worked this out with some 25 criminals who had committed 3 to 5 murders, right, for 2 years, and within 6 months there was significant response, the result. These were the criminals who used to create so much of disturbance in the jail, right. 6 months after they have become the source of discipline in the jail. When that happens, it was possible to work with the remaining around 750 kind of inmates. In fact, 3 of these people, okay, out of these 25 people, they were the one who were conducting the workshop for the rest of the people. So, not only their behavior improved, their understanding also improved and their concern for other inmates also improved, and they started spending time to work with the remaining inmates. So, this discipline either keeping them in discipline or imposing some discipline on them is only a temporary help. What should be done in the meantime is to give them right education, the right sanskars, so that they are self disciplined, and once that happens then it will multiply rather than a revolt. So, yes, you can't allow them to do whatever they feel like, because they do not understand right and they may do damage, but then when you are kind of giving some discipline, keep yourself open to explain every question that they are asking, right, and when they understand something, help them provide them the proper opportunity to live with that. In the jail, after 6 months there was this feeling that we have enough time, so what do we do? So, out of the discussion it came out that they want to learn, so there was an arrangement for kind of reading and learning reading and writing through open school, right. Around 150 people registered for it, right. So, they want to read and write, then they want to do some production. So, some 24 different types of productions were introduced. There were other groups, social groups which were working and who were engaged in production. So, they started these productions there. So, like that so many constructive things can then happen.
For small children, when we talk about this harmony and all that, would the language be similar, or how would they understand?
See, the language can be changed depending upon their immediate concern, right. So, for example, instead of saying that we have to have affection for everyone, every human being, okay, we can certainly talk to the child about his feeling towards the mother, towards the brother, towards the sisters, towards the classmates, right, towards the children who are there around him or her, okay. That we can ask, find out, and then find out whether that feeling of affection is there or feeling of jealousy is there, and which will be naturally acceptable to you. You can also find out that if the feeling of affection is there, how would you respond, right. Will you respond in terms of helping the other, right, or giving your things to the other, or you will respond in terms of taking away the things from the other, right, or non cooperate with the other. All these issues can be raised, So, their day to day thing which the child is able to relate, that can be the kind of point of discourse, and through them we can slowly relate to these feelings. So, if you look at the child, very young child 2 years, 3 years child, okay, they are related to other children, to their family members. They are also able to relate to the things around the other kind of things like plants, the trees, the books, right. So, they are able to relate, okay, and some way they are relating anyway. So, we can ask questions regarding that and make kind of proposals regarding those things, which they will be able to relate. Yeah. So, those immediate things relating to other human being around him, right, and relating to other things the rest of nature around him, that is something which can be introduced even to a child which is 2 to 3 years old. Yeah, need not use the same feelings and define them technically and try to help them understand. Yes, good. So, if there are no more questions, then we will stop here. Okay, thank you very much.